Bonnie Blaze,
Hiya.
welcome.
Hiya. Thank you.
Welcome, Bonnie Blaze. So, Bonnie, tell everyone about the name Bonnie Blaze. How did that come about?
Right, well, it was I was obviously trying to feel, when I started mixing at the age of 18, 19, obviously, I thought, well, it's when I started doing it properly, I just thought, I need a name.
Yeah.
So it was a little while, it took a little while to sort of get the name, but then it made sense in the end. I ended up choosing the name Bonnie because I just like the name Bonnie, really, for one. And what made me think of it is I was on a bus one day going down near King's Cross, and I saw a shop called Bonnie Blooms, and it was a flower shop or something. But the name, that's where the name Bonnie, I thought, because I've always liked it, but I didn't really thought, I like that name. And so it was just like DJ Bonnie when I was a bedroom, like really in the beginning DJ. So DJ Bonnie is what I just called myself, and then Blaze came a little bit later.
How did the Blaze come about? Go ahead, this.
Yeah, no, it wasn't really exciting. It was just the fact that there's a few things. Well, it is actually. If you go back to the original meaning of this, it's like when I was little, very young, my brother, he's 7 years older than me, so he used to go to all the raves, like World Dance and all the world parties and everywhere. And he was probably about 15, and I was like 8 or something. And I used to always want to go with him, but obviously. It was like, no, you're not coming.
Yeah.
At 8 years old. But then the name Blaze comes because I used to just play all these music at home on the speakers and stuff like that, all the old school, all the hardcore, acid house, hip hop, everything, swing. I used to listen to it all.
Yeah.
And I like bass, right? So I used to turn it up as loud as I possibly could. So he used to have those little, those little speakers that you had, little foam things at the front, and a couple of times I set them on fire. Just blew up.
Oh my gosh.
But also, they were only little, but luckily my mum was there to sort of throw them in the bath, right? So it's one of those, but I'm a fire sign, so I'm born in December, so, I just like, there's a thing
just
with
mischievous.
Fire. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Mischievous is not
Yeah, mischievous.
Yeah.
I think I go
Okay.
mischievous, yeah.
Yeah, so, and so I kind of like the name Blaze, and it kind of went Bonnie Blaze. It just kind of happened one day.
Because everything just goes up.
It's that name, you got to make your mark, I suppose, and that's what I just changed. But that was in the early days, early 2001 is when I started mixing.
So you started mixing in 2001?
Yeah.
And what was your original genre of music when you started?
Jungle.
Jungle. So it's always been jungle?
All from 91 up, 92, 93, hardcore, house, like all of that sort of stuff. But I mostly... When I was learning, I was just constantly just playing. The reason that is because when I was 8 and 9, obviously, all them ages, I couldn't go to those raves. Okay?
Yeah.
I was too young, and I missed out. I felt like I used to listen to them at home, or in my cousin's house, when they used to be mixing, and I'd get thrown out of the bedroom all the time. But because I was, in the way, I was corrupting their style and stuff. 8 years old, but I wanted to play those tunes. So my cousin still had loads of those tunes on vinyl. So when I was 18 and I moved into a hostel and I got my first pair of decks, and that was it really. Like, I just thought, I'm gonna go and ask my cousin if I could just borrow all these tunes. I just saved as many of them as I could because they were just gathering dust. But that's what I did. I just sort of went through the genres up. Like I wanted to start from the earliest I could.
So did you start on Technics or?
No, they were actually Citronics.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what make they were, but they were Citronics. They were really fast. I didn't really realise that until later on.
Yeah.
When I got my Technics like in 2005 or something else, and it was like, wow, it's just a whole different thing. You can control the mix better, and but they were, it did this thing anyway.
So would it be safe to say that your cousin inspired you, or was there a DJ in particular that inspired you?
It was back in them days, 92, 93, 94, when they were young. You got decks, and they just have all the friends around the house, and they'd just be all mixing, and that. None of them were really DJs. They're just bedroom DJs, like just playing. I just used to be there, fascinated with all the music in the background, and I was already engrossed in music way before that, but like. I did a couple of times think, when he was out, I just wanted to sneak in his room to see if I could go on the decks. And every time I did do that. I'll switch them on and he'd come home from work and it was like I had to quickly exit the bedroom. So it never happened. I probably would have been DJing from about 12 or something.
Okay. So would you put yourself, what category of music would you put yourself? Jungle or drum and bass DJ? Or both?
Both. I play both. Yeah, I just like, I alternate. So I go through sometimes the, jungle, drum and bass, jungle, bit of jump up, bit of this, bit of that, bit of everything.
Do you like the way jump ups sounds, or?
I think it's sounding alright to me now. I like the rollers kind of jump up.
Yeah,
it's rolling, if it's rolling and it's got, good sounds.
Yeah, it's got a nice roll. Yeah.
If it sounds good to me, I'll play it, Sometimes I catch myself surprised. Like, oh wow, So it's nice to just. So I get loads of tunes sent to me as well, and I don't, being a mum, just a busy mum as well as a DJ. I also, get around to hearing all these. I get so much music as well, and I buy music, and there's just so much good tunes out there at the moment as well, and
Yeah. Okay. So what producers would you say are doing it now at the moment? Give me a couple of producers you think are doing it now.
Conrad Subs.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Oh god. A couple. Hybrid. There's
I love hybrid stuff. Love
it.
it.
Obviously Blade Runner. He's always been a favourite of mine from.
Yeah, Blade Runner.
And just oh god, it's not loads of it. That'd be cool.
What is your take on MCs? Do you like MCs over your set, or are you anti?
No. I do like MCs, but obviously they've got to let the music breathe and let me, work with me well. And I like MCs if they're not just, shouting or whatever. But it's not good.
Who would you class as a top class MC? Who do you like? Oh. Or, okay, who would you like to MC over your set?
Okay, right. So one of them I've already done, who is someone I always wanted, and that was Fearless, and that was really, it wasn't even long enough, but it will be again. But I've got Fearless, he is, and then, there's because I'm quite old school, I like GQ, I like Moose, the good old Skibbity, R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. Skibbity,
yeah. I think that's it really. There is more, but I don't really know. I'm not really I'm a DJ, so I just sort of focus mostly on the music side of things, and all this stuff of the MCs. I don't agree with all that there should be MC and free events, and I'm hearing all this stuff. And I do like a good MC, Yeah, as long as they're respecting the music as well, and you both work well together, it's good,
Okay.
It all matters about the sound, and everything's got to work together.
Yeah.
It's important to me,
Yeah. I've noticed you're quite a good mixer. Did you self-learn? Did you self-teach yourself, or you say you self-taught yourself? No one taught you?
No. SLB tried to teach me how to beat match when I was about 17. Because before I got decks, but he was trying to show me, at a friend's house, and there was a few people around, and it was I wasn't really getting it. It was just too much going on in the background, and but he was trying to show me how to beat match. I remember, and he was counting the numbers and all this, and I was like, I was listening, but I couldn't really. When I got my decks, I knew what to do anyway. As soon as I put the tunes together, I knew what I had to do, speed that up, slow that down. But what I did is just taught myself. 2 weeks I was listening and recording myself, so that's what I advise. Record yourself.
Yes, that's
and
true.
Listen back to all them clangy mixes in the beginning. Just keep doing it, and then you'll know, because you think, oh god, this is what I've done. This is what I should do. That's how I learned. It took me years really to sort of perfect that. Well, I wouldn't say it's perfect. No one is perfect, but to get that where. And getting techniques really helped as well.
Yeah, and learning on what were those decks called?
Citronics, that's what I mean.
Learning on decks like that, it does help, because once you go into techniques after that, you're like a master on there, because.
I felt so relaxed, more chilled, less work.
Yeah, so you've had to work hard to learn, and then once you go on techniques, you just end up being a master. Because I learned on some decks called Eclipse. They had a pitch at the front, like a little wheel. kind of thing, and it's
Oh
like
yeah, I've seen some.
yeah. And when by the time you go into Technics, it's like you're just a master because the pitch is so perfect. Like yeah.
So, it's like, oh, you know, what belt trial decks and what I don't know. People used to learn how to mix on notes. But
Yeah.
same,
Sound labs.
Yeah. A bit before me, like I don't think he had normal, techniques. My cousin in '94 or something. But so yeah, it's better sort of if you do go through that stage where you have to learn these hard ways, things get easier.
So who gave you your first break? What was your first venue you played at then? First event that you played at?
A proper event, I'd say Rave Utopia. My friend Mark and Martine, he's my kid's mum. They used to run the event Rave Utopia back in early 2000s. 2004, I think it might have been. No, 2005 is when he gave me my first set, and it wasn't. I don't know if I think it might have been one of these free parties, but it was at Jack's in SE1. You remember?
Yeah.
And yeah, he was doing, and like basically, I wasn't even on the lineup. It was literally one of the DJs. I think he booked a DJ who couldn't get there, and at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'd been raving all night, and he knew I could miss. I didn't have any tunes on me, and it was fine all days back then. And he just came up to me, Mark, and he was like, "Oh, do you want to play?" I was like, "Could you think you could play?" I was like, "Yeah." I knew that someone would have tunes. I'd be able to sort of, if he needs me to do that, I'd do that. So it was my first proper break. Yeah.
Okay.
And I went on, loads of people knew me there, but they didn't know me as a DJ or anything. Like, cause I wasn't really, DJ much, but they didn't know I could mix. Loads of people I knew that he knew, we all knew, but they must have looked up and seen me on the decks. He's still got that mix recording, and I have not got that yet.
You should ask him if you can get out of it.
It's been for the last how many years? Like,
your first ever gig.
Yeah, I was like, it's a proper, it was a proper, I class that as my first ever gig because it was proper sound system, proper everything going on there, I had done some little things before, but yeah, that were just, I think, the beginning sort of warm up curb things, yeah.
So production work, have you done any production work?
I've done a little, and I'm learning Ableton and Logic and that. I've been doing little bits in that, like not as much as I should, but it's like life gets in the way at the moment. So I've just got priorities as well, and that's why I'm trying to push my DJing more, just to sort of be out there, having some brand. I've got this little brand going, Euphonic Bass, which I've started up, but it's not. I'm just using it as a name brand, and I'm going to progress into other things, like possibly a label of my own, and like events and stuff like that. Maybe not events, but possibly a label I might focus on, and just taking it that way really, and just trying to keep sort of doing stuff. But yeah, I have been making a couple of tunes, and it's still in progress. But yeah.
So nothing you've tried and tested on the crowd yet?
Oh yeah, one tune.
And how did it go then?
It was alright. It's just like it's not been like properly mastered. It's nothing like it was. Yeah, I haven't really done much of that, but I should look into that actually because it is quite a good tune. But yeah, I think it needs a bit more work. So I just wanna. I'm one of those people, if there's a producer, it's like you don't really like it, but other people will. It's like the same with your mixes and stuff. You're not too sure about certain things, but other people just don't hear it. But so it's just that stage really, and yeah, I'm just doing Ableton. I'm going through it all, and I'm just working on a few projects right now. Actually, yeah.
Okay. So, is there anyone that's made you feel gassed about working with? Someone has made you like, oh wow, I'm actually standing beside this person, or.
Oh wow. Should we go back?
You can go back if you want, yeah.
Okay, right. So another first lot of gigs that I was given was by DVS MC, roller coaster, and it was like I'd done little things, but that was sort of like my biggest thing. So back then, and when was it? I was about 20 or 21, and it was at the Mass in Brixton, and it was he booked me something like May, I think 2006, okay, and to play in the second room in Mass, and then that was the Shabba's D's birthday. He made it, and it had like quite a good lineup on it. It was like, oh, this is like a nice thing. And also, but the next one he did was the following month, which is what I was thinking about, like, because it was in the June, and he had put me in the main room, and he was doing it. I can't remember if he had the second room that time, but he had the big room. Do you know Mass?
Yeah, Brixton Mass,
so
yeah.
A massive mirror.
Yeah.
And like, and I was supposed to play at 5 o'clock in the morning, like sort of one of the last sets.
Yeah.
Or the last set. And like, I was there already. I had my box records back then, and Darren came up to me and he was like, "Oh, do you think you can play after Ray Keith?" Right. So I was like, sort of, Ray Keith I think was on something like 11 till 12 or something like that, and I was like, yeah, of course. And I was playing old school jungle, like 94 to 96, pure vinyl, and I was like, yeah, of course. I'd be shy about a lot of things in life, but if someone said to me, "Oh, play this," I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm not shy about that. Just go with it," something like that. And so I got up there, and that was on. I kind of knew Ray Keith back then because I was going to that market, and he knew me then, But who I hadn't met, like when I was on the decks, I was playing for an hour or whatever, and then I noticed this guy sitting behind me, and I just thought, who's that? Like, I didn't recognise him. Like, it turned out it was Aphrodite, and I thought,
oh, okay.
Because when I got off the decks, and I didn't know it, and when I finished my set, he was just sitting there like his legs up on the speaker, just like shocking out. I was thinking, who's that, because his sunglasses on. I'd always seen pictures of him with his sunglasses. I've never actually met him face to face. But when he got off the decks, he came up and he shook my hand with his big eyes. He was like, "Such a pleasure to meet you." Like, he really liked the tunes I was playing and all that. Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, it was a pleasure to meet you." And I thought that was one of my moments. That was one of the biggest moments, because obviously it's just like I've just played in between Ray Keith and Aphrodite, like sort of 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock till 1, I think. And that was like a big moment for me. I'm still proud of it now. But there's loads of other stuff I've done since then, though. I've done like I remember I got who was it? Fizzy. Do you remember Fizzy Wednesdays when they did? It was in the Mask Bar. My friends got but yeah, D for MC got me a set there, and when was it? Yeah, so that was the same year. That was 2000. So 2006 was quite a big year for me, like in my early days, right? And I was put to headline, and this was after all this, on the carnival, because it was on a Wednesday evening. I think they did it weekly or something. And a carnival special. So I was like headlining, and I was like, I mean, there wasn't anybody else. I put me and a couple of us who started off the same age around then, and everyone's still doing their thing, But yeah, I mean, that was another moment, because I was like, oh, headlining somewhere, like, but just little things like that. Every now and then I'd do stuff, but then I had kids at 25, and then I just took time out from DJing, and you've got to focus on other things. Yeah.
Female DJs in the scene, it's increased, hasn't it? It has increased. There's loads of female DJs, and yeah, I think it's leveling up the playing field, if that makes sense, in a really good way, in a positive way. What are your thoughts on? My thoughts
are basically that is the other reason, because when I started DJing, like, when I was playing out there, I noticed, and I did notice obviously more in the rave scene and everything, that there wasn't many female.
Especially them days as well.
And playing the tunes I was playing as well, because my reason for playing all those is because I was actually bringing those old school tunes that I learned how to mix with, and jungle 94, 96 upwards, whatever, and drum and bass like early 2000s. I was like bringing the old school though, into the sets when I was playing out, and no one I know was playing those tunes anymore, or half the tunes I do like to drop, like sort of tunes I just dropped it. But you weren't hearing those tunes back in the early 2000s and events. I wasn't hearing, and I was like, oh, I really missed all these events like this vibe, and because I've seen videos of whatever of world dances in '94 when I was about 12 or something, and I just thought, yeah, I wish I was, I really wished I was there, sort of thing. But I just used to play all them tunes just to try and bring that vibe back, and I did sort of think in my head, I'd love, them events to come back, and they started to come back, all the and there was Labyrinth and all these other ones coming back. I think Rain Dance was going. I just never used to go to Rain Dance when I was really young. I used to go to all the sort of drum and bass raves. I was that age, and
have you played at Rain Dance yet?
No, I haven't. I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually saw Richard the other day at Lazy Sunday, so I hadn't seen him for ages, but he came up and gave me a flyer for the event, which is coming up.
She just said to him, yeah, thanks for the flyer, but I want to play for you.
I know, and he's going to me, I know, you should know, you're in the scene. I'm like, okay, well, I don't even feel like I'm, I'm half the time I'm just being me, and, but I am doing my thing, and in the scene, and I like playing.
Yeah, but you're humble. That's what it is. You don't show off. You're very approachable and humble.
I've always been like that. I was at a school sort of thing, but that's what I was going to say. Back then I wanted to. I thought this is another reason why I want to do this. I want to encourage other females to get involved. Because if I can do this, there should be more. And that was only one of the real, back then, things I was really confident about.
Yeah.
A lot of things, because I wouldn't talk to a lot of people, I was a quiet person, a bit shy, that's what I'm trying to avoid, having to have deep conversations with people. But I've grown a lot more since then, a lot's happened in life. But back then, that is something I thought, they could just do that, even if they're like me, just come. There should be more DJs, more females. But I'm glad there is, yeah. Yeah, it was a few years ago actually.
What was that?
That Funky, when he put on the female lineup. What's it called again? I've got the flyer up.
Was it Son of Dance or?
Was it Son of Dance? It was at Scar, I believe.
Okay.
I think. Right, because he came to my inbox. I was playing for Moon Dance then, honestly, here and there. But then he. It might be about 2016 or something, I can't remember. But he contacted me just like, can you put a word out there, try and get as many female DJs to sort of contact me, because he was thinking of doing something, but he didn't know who to start with. So I just put a little. That's what I mean. I like to sort of help people more. I'd like other people to sort of get what they want to do. So I've always been one of those people that will push people. I like to do things, but if I'm encouraged. So I'm like a leader, basically. I like to encourage people to do it and do it better than me if they can,
Yeah.
And a lot of them can anyway. But we just I love it. I think it's really good that there's loads of women and not to get women just don't get disencouraged, but haters or people just saying things, because I see a lot of negative comments as well. It's just silly, really, Yeah.
There's enough work for everyone in the scene, isn't there, really?
Well, it's like in everything, isn't it, in life,
Yeah. Okay. So can you tell me a funny moment you've had whilst DJing? Something that stood out. He was like, oh my gosh, that was quite funny, but also embarrassing as well. Is there any moments that you've had? Like music stopping halfway through the set?
Oh, yeah. I was stopped the wrong deck many times. Yeah, them moments, like them sort of things. Oh, I do them sometimes. Yeah, we all do.
No, I think you'll find a lot of DJs do that.
Yeah, because it's all this digital. Like I said, we're vinyl DJs originally. Yeah, so it's I suppose there is that bit of it's too many buttons. It's like they've got the it depends what you're playing on really. And not so much live, but I've done it at home a few times more. I have done it live, but
so you do live streams? Yeah, you do. Yeah, you used to do quite a bit of live streams actually on Facebook. I remember you.
Yeah, I was during lockdown and all. That's what kept me going, I think, because obviously we couldn't do much in that time of the year, and I was bedbound for a bit of it. I had I've got sciatica, I had lower back problem. I not long had my daughter, and lockdown happened all at the same time, and I couldn't really do much that year. But that year, obviously, I just thought, I've got to push harder because I've got 3 kids. So I'm not going to let anything happen to me, and music got me through it. So obviously I had my decks there. I've always had my decks ever since I got decks.
Yeah.
No matter where I've gone, whether I've had kids or not, they've always been out. And but I started to play music, and then just do live streams. So just keeping things going, keeping my sanity, keeping everything happy, keeping everyone happy.
Yeah.
That's what I like doing. Yeah.
So radio, do you do radio?
I do.
What station are you on now? Right,
well I'm on Dose Radio, and I do that in Luton, and I do it every 4 weeks on a Wednesday, 8 till 10, and I do 10% radio as well, which is every last Saturday of the month, and that's 4 till 5 in the afternoon. I was recently doing Rise Radio with loads of us. I was Desi Blonde's Sweet House, SLB, Papa G. We were doing it like podcasts, but that's going to be changing over in September to streaming live via Mixcloud and Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure we're going to sort out when I'm going to be doing that, because before I've got mixes still on my Mixcloud from my podcast that I've done over the last couple of months, which you can go and check out with DJ Polly Blade.
Yeah.
And they're just like because they're trying to just build a station with Rise, really. Well, there's a station there, but we want to make it into a more streaming thing to go with the actual name, because it's Rise Radio live streaming. That's what it means. And so it's just going to change from podcast to live streaming. So then I'll know what date that's going to be, and I'll probably be still doing that. But that'll be all live, and hopefully it might be on a Sunday. As usual.
Okay.
4 till 6. That was when I was doing the podcast anyway. So, but it might change. It might be a different day and time.
Okay. So, is there any words of advice you would give to an up and coming female DJ?
Just keep doing it. Believe in what you want to do, and don't let nobody stop you. That's it. Really, just work hard. But yeah.
Did you come across obstacles being a female in the scene?
Yeah, I noticed there's a lot. Is it? I don't know. I kind of just let it off its slide. I've seen it all for years. Like even before I was a DJ, there's lots of you get lots of people that just don't agree with certain people and have whatever going on. But I might find it a bit harder to get. I won't say, I don't know, bookings or anything. It's just, it is harder sometimes to sort of break through into certain areas. There's a lot of people, it's a lot of male dominated lineups or, friends or whatever, so you don't really, apart from that, you just got to keep trying, just get to know the nice people, the right people that, that are doing what you want to do, and because it's important, like, you'll end up being like the people that you most associate with, friends, or people you look up to, inspirations. Yeah. So just follow what they're doing, don't copy. But
do you want to give a couple names, spin a couple names of who you look up to?
DJ Randall.
Yeah. Very good DJ.
He is the reason why I ended up thinking I want to be, because I kind of forgot about DJ and that when I was younger. So when I was 14, I had a tape that a friend who went to school with gave me, and it was DJ Randall, and I knew of DJ Randall, but and GQ at World Dance. I think it was like July '94. I used to rinse this tape over and over and over, and it just brought my passion and love back for it. And I was like, and that is the reason why I ended up. I want to mix in my head from 14 up But I never got, obviously, when I got my my hostel, that's when I thought, oh yeah, I can get my own decks now. I don't live at home, you know. My mum ain't gonna nag me to sit down. But yeah, it is DJ Randall, Moose, yeah, Nicky Black Market, oh, Kenny Ken. There's quite a lot of people that I respect. Yeah, like in the scene. I don't know, I miss some of that. You.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, Funky, of course, Gordy. Yeah, Dizzy Blonde, SLB, you know, can't forget SLB. Yeah, there's loads.
What's the best bit of advice you've had to get you through the scene? Has anyone come up to you and given you advice, said, look, you should do this, or maybe don't do that, or maybe talk to this person or whatever? What's the best bit of advice you've ever had from someone in the scene?
Oh God. That is a tough one. Alright, the best bit of advice. Yeah, I've had it from a few people, but like, I'm not thinking who it could be now. Yeah, just do what you want to do, sort of advice. You know, same thing that I'm saying, really. That's the sort of advice I've had over the years from them sort of people, you know. Not all of the people I mentioned, but it's the same advice. Yeah, I'm just sort of passing it. Yeah, just to be yourself.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
the best advice.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
Be yourself.
Yeah.
And yeah, just follow your dreams. Like, you know, seek the right people that you know that can help you and that you can help, but you can work with. You know, just collaborate with like-minded people. Yeah. That's it, really. But there's more to it, obviously. That's one.
Have you ever been booked to play on a sound system and the sound system's been total rubbish?
Oh.
Like the decks are broken, the mixer don't even work, there's no monitor.
Okay, a few over the years, but I actually find it quite exciting. But after the set though, when I realised that I've managed to get through it, all right.
Yeah, that's
it's like
true.
Yeah, that's the accomplishment, that's the learning bit, and I just think to myself, well, if I could do that, then imagine if I had a lovely amazing. And I have played on some amazing sound systems as well. Like,
what's your favourite? Can you name your favourite sound system?
That I've played on?
Yeah.
So I'd just be like Function 1 or something, I believe. I don't know. Actually, I don't know, because I've not really, when I've played out, no, that's a lie.
Exactly. Every DJ will know their favourite sound system.
Last week, I forgot. Yes, I got a big shout out to Navigator, okay, and Nev, and yeah, because last week I played at his 60th birthday diamond celebration at Lakota in Bristol.
Okay.
I don't know if you've been there.
Never been there, no.
The sound system is
amazing.
It's amazing. I can't remember what it was called. I remember looking at the little thing on the speaker that I was looking. I was just, you know, I was thinking, what are these called? Because I've been there once before, back in 2018, just a rave, and I was thinking how good it was. The vibes, it's really good down there. Like the drum and bass, but like I'd always thought I'd love to play here, but fast forward a few years, it ends up happening. But yeah, I don't know what that one was called, to be honest.
But the system was nice.
That was one of the best I've ever played on.
Have you ever done E1?
No, I've not done E1.
Okay. Yeah. You like that's a very
it was,
deep
sound
system.
Proper sound systems, yeah. Lakota's ones are like the whole place shakes, but it's not a distorted sound. It's like just bass goes right through you, sort of thing. But it feels great. As soon as it hits you, you have to dance, sort of.
Yeah. Okay. So do you after you've done a set, do you hang around to party or?
Oh yeah, if I can. Usually. I was there till near enough the end. I had to leave because my friend had to leave, and I was driving back. So I drove to Bristol and I drove back. I was gonna stay, but I had to get my friend back. So I don't mind anyway. I drove back to where I live, and I just had some amazing memories and footage as well. Put out anyway. But yeah, that was a really good. I usually like to stay. I don't usually like to leave. I'm a raver first. So.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay.
I like to dance. Yeah.
So what have we got to look forward to from Bonnie Blaze in the future? What's coming?
Oh well.
Or is it one of those moments where you put your finger on your lip and go shh?
No, not really. Like it's I've got a few projects coming. So I want to sort of push my little brand, Euphonic Bass, and maybe do a little events. Nothing big, just like a little. Maybe try and find a little personal project place to do little events, bring people in to DJ obviously, and just. But I really want to do the production thing because this is something I've always wanted. I did always want to do a label. That was literally what I wanted to do first.
Yeah.
Before I DJ'd, I was thinking I would love to make music, and I did have a dabble at using. I think it was Cubase, like when I was about 14 in school, when it sort of was getting, out there with big computers, big massive screens, and so I remember using that at school for once or twice, and then I used to dabble on the Music 2000. I think that's what Blade Runner said that he learned how to make tunes on as well. So back then, I think that's one of the things I read it years ago about bioviz or something. But I used to play that as well. I was about 16, 17, and I made a few tunes on that. So it was the production thing. It's just when I moved to the hostel, I thought, well, I haven't got the means or way of doing production, but I learned how to mix because when I do make tunes, I want to be able to play them. That was what I thought initially, and then that's why I just thought, I've got decks, I just learned how to mix. That's basically where it started. But I still want to do my label. So Euphonic Bass. The name Euphonic Bass is something earlier, like when I had Technics by then, but I'd moved into my first flat. So I was about 20, I think 20, 21. And I one day sat there with a notepad and pen and drew a lineup, like an event, and called it Bass Euphony, and that's what the name originally was. It wasn't Euphonic Bass. And I was thinking, a name for an event, and I was writing a dream lineup sort of thing. Obviously, Bonnie Blaze was on there, and like Nicky Black Market, blah blah blah, Ray Key, whoever, loads of big names, and then there was me and Steve Fearless and Julie Elwood, Dream like for MC, and that thing ain't happened yet. But also, that's where it kind of started. I had that little vision, and that was 2003, 2004. But obviously, Euphonic Bass is just kind of last year. I just changed the name and got a logo made and
it's a catchy name.
Use it in So I just thought Euphonic Bass is what it is now. But so I want to sort of do some stuff with that, and I'm going to sort of turn a label or something, like that'd be good, wouldn't it? Get some people involved. So I've got lots of things and lots of plans. Because a lot of the time, the last 15 years I've got 3 children. I've had a few gaps and a few breaks and just not really taking it seriously because I've had to do other things. But it's not something that's going away anytime soon. So I just got to
it's time, isn't it?
Do it. Yeah, it's time. Yeah. So I was 19 when I started mixing. I'm going to be 40 this year in December. Okay. So I'm thinking I might do an event or something, a little, birthday thing.
Okay.
You can come down,
Yeah.
I don't know where to sit, but I'll be down here somewhere.
Because you used to live in London, didn't you?
Yeah. My mum, because I'm from London, I'm from like Peckham, Camberwell, Brixton, all the ends. My mum is in East Dulwich, like Peckham Rye, so she's still sort of there. So I come down quite often. So it's home.
What was it like growing up in Peckham then?
It was alright.
Back in the 80s, 90s.
Exactly, yeah, it was alright. It wasn't too bad. We used to just be able to go out and just play and do stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Some dangerous times and some.
It molds you, isn't it? Growing up in an area like that actually molds you.
Mm-hmm.
You makes you tough and strong because of the environment that you're around daily. So, yeah.
But at the time I was still quiet and, you know, just, but obviously as a grown up, I'm a different person. And yeah, I wouldn't change my past at all. There was parts of it I probably would, but you know, yeah, it does mould you. And, yeah, I like to come back home now and again. I do like to go back to the countryside as well.
Oh, okay.
Where I live. It's not too far away though.
Is there loads of sheep and stuff when you're driving? You see the sheep and the cows on the green.
Sometimes, yeah, little farms here and there, locally, like but my house is sort of in the middle, near a village. They're building lots of homes there, so it's like it's just turned into a town really. But
it's cleaner air.
It's nicer though, yeah. Fresh air, the birds, tweet, 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 the water, not sirens and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, it has been a pleasure speaking to you and hearing you know what you've been up to and what you're getting up to. And is there any way that people can contact you for bookings? And you want to plug your brand? What was it? Euphonic Bass. And yeah, is there any, you know, where can people follow you?
Well, you can follow me on Mixcloud, Instagram, but mostly Mixcloud. Like use DJ Body Blaze on Facebook. Yeah, so yeah, or you can contact me Instagram. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us at Talk Music TV.
Thank you.
Nice one.
Right. Oh, look at me all nervous and like.